So, hello everyone, and to all our tech enthusiasts out there. I'm your host for today. I'm April D. Alas. A pleasant morning to all of you, and I'm here with my co-host.
Hello, I'm Jana.
So now we'll be diving through the networking world. So in this episode of the Tech Trends, we will find out what's the definition of networking and how does it really work, especially through its components and topologies.
But before we start, let's have a quick recap first of what networking really is, galing sa first episode natin. Based on the first episode na nilabas namin, networking is the process of connecting two or more devices like computers, phones, or even printers, so that they can share data, information, and resources efficiently. It also allows us to browse the internet, send messages, share files, and even attend our online classes. Instead of working alone like standalone computer, a network lets devices communicate, collaborate with each other. There are actually different types of networks na na-discuss sa first episode natin, which are the LAN na kino-cover lang is yung mga small areas like homes and classrooms. Next naman is yung MAN, which can connect networks across cities and campuses. And last one, the WAN, which links networks globally, just like the internet itself. So in short, yung networking is the heart of modern communication. Without it, there would be no online learning, no social media, and no digital connection at all.
So thank you for that brief recap, Jana. So alam mo, it's a big help for all our viewers, especially to our student audiences, to know what networking really is about, especially now that we're going to talk about how networking really works, especially like I said earlier, its components and topologies. So, speaking of it, grabe pala no, ang dami palang type ng networks. Kasi ang alam ko lang ay LAN. Meron pa palang WAN and MAN. Kala kasi yung MAN lalaki. So, anyway, moving on. Before we give you an idea about our topic for today, I just want to greet everyone. Hello everyone! Good day sa inyong lahat. Yes! Welcome back to another episode of Tech Trends. Alright! So, where you will learn something about networking. So, ayun, syempre, we won't forget about fun. So, let's start. So, okay, for the overview for our episode today, we will interview some BSIT students from Rizal Technological University, which is known for the abbreviation of RTU, where they will assist and demonstrate and explain to us how networking works through its essentials, the networking components, topologies, and even network security. So, mahati po sa dalawa ang magiging topic natin for today. So, first, for the networking components, tatlong students will join us today to help us know what are the components that we will need to connect our technology or device sa internet and how it transmit data in a network. Second naman, for the network topologies, we will do something engaging and exciting. So, ano ito, di ba? So, we will go outside and interview some free BSIT students that we will see and we will ask them about what they know about network topology. So, magi-interview. So, sino kaya ang maswerteng may interview natin, Jana, no? So, ayun, sa tatlong students na may interview, good luck po. Charot. So, so sit back, grab your pens and notebooks, and enjoy our episode today. Good luck! So, hello everyone. I'm April D. Alas. I'm one of your hosts for today's episode, and I'm together with these three astonishing students from RTU. So, hello guys. So, good day sa inyo. So, bago ang lahat, no, kilalanin muna natin sila. So, kikilalanin muna kayo bago tayo pumunta sa exciting part. So, kindly introduce yourself po. Kindly state your name, age, your college year, your course program, and yun. So, let's start with this guy.
Hello everyone, I am Austin Retaga, third year BSIT student, 20 years old.
Hello everyone, my name is Janine Legario, third year BSIT student. Hi everyone, my name is Mayan De La Cruz, 21 years old, third year BSIT student.
So, yan. Thank you for that introduction. So, let's welcome them again. So, before we proceed to the exciting part, let us know first what is networking components. So, based on our research, networking components are the important parts to help us operate a computer network in our house, school, office, or any other areas. So, in simple definition, mga equipment sila na nag-aalaw sa ating mga devices na kumonekta sa internet, makapag-share ng data, and it even allows us to communicate to each other, even to other people across the country digitally. So, now that we all know the meaning of the network component, let's know and see the actual components of a network and kung para saan ba sila. So, ready na ba kayo guys? So, let's start off with Austin. So, Austin, my question for you, what are the network components that are needed and that we utilize for us to connect to a network? So, kindly explain it to us, please.
So, thank you for that question, Miss April, and hello again to all our viewers today. I'll be explaining some of the networking hardware na madalas nating ginagamit araw-araw, minsan pa nga hindi natin namamalayan, lalo na pag nagtatrabaho tayo sa office, sa school, at kahit sa mga small businesses. Ginagamit natin to palagi. So, first of all, let's start with network interface card. Before we can connect to the internet, kailangan muna natin ng hardware na tutulong sa atin sa mga device para makakonekta. At ito ay ang network interface card. Ito ang dahilan kung bakit nakakonekta tayo sa internet, both wireless and wired, gamit ang isang LAN cable. So para saan ba to? Ang network interface card ang nag-enable sa mga devices natin para makapagpadala at makatanggap ng data sa ibang network connected device tulad ng router at switches na ipapaliwanag ko rin mamaya. In technical terms, ang network interface card ang nagsisilbing bridge or interface sa pagitan ng physical layer na humahawak ng physical connection gaya ng cables or antenna at ang data link layer na nagpro-provide ng reliable communication. Ito ang nagko-convert ng signals mula sa cables or Wi-Fi papunta sa digital signals at vice versa para mapagpalitan ng data ang mga devices natin in real time. In simple terms, si network interface card ang tumutulong sa mga devices natin para makatanggap at makapagpadala ng data signals. Siya ang dahilan kung bakit tayo nakakonekta sa internet. And may mga advantage din ang paggamit ng network interface card. First of all, ito ay nag-improve na security. May mga built-in firewalls ang modern network interface card para maprotektahan ang ating computers laban sa unauthorized at sa mga cyber attacks. Meron din itong greater bandwidth. Mas mabilis ang data transfers ng network interface card kumpara sa mga lumang modem connection, kaya mas smooth ang communication at mas kaya nitong i-handle ang malaking data. Flexible din ito. Maraming computer na kayang gumamit ng multiple network interface card na sabay-sabay para makonekta sa iba't ibang network o para mas mapabilis ang kabuuang bandwidth. Ito ay nagbibigay rin ng high-speed connection, kaya mag-support ng network interface card ng speed up to 1 GB per second o mas mataas pa. Perfect for quick file transfer at mas stable na network performance. Better reliability dahil nakapag-reduce ito ng interface or noise, mas stable ang data transmission at mas kaunti ang errors. Sa scalability naman niya, madaling magdagdag ng bagong computers o devices sa network na may network interface card. Hindi na kailangan baguhin ang existing setup. At madali din itong i-install. Kahit basic knowledge lang ay kayang-kaya. So before I explain the next part, panoorin muna natin ang isang scene sa Ralph Breaks the Internet para mas maintindihan natin ang mga network components.
What is wrong with you?
Start churning butter and put on your church shoes, little sister, because we're about to blast off.
What are you even talking about?
Oh, we're going to the internet.
What?
Yeah, to find the part to fix your game.
No way!
Yeah, I probably should have just said we're going to the internet. We're going to the internet! Hey, Serge! Oh, are we glad to see you? We want to report some malfeasance over by the whack-a-mole.
Yeah, we saw some undesirables causing a real Donnybrook over there.
Oh, heck no. Not on my watch. Appreciate the tip.
So, all we gotta do is find this e-boy place.
eBay.
Right, eBay. So we go there, get the steering wheel, we have it delivered to Litwack before Friday, he'll fix your game, everything goes back to the way it was. Boom! Happily ever after.
This is a shockingly sound, well-thought-out idea for you, Ralph. No offense.
I know, and none taken.
Oh, here it comes! Ladies and gentlemen, boys
So dito, makikita natin na itong power cable is, ay dumaan sila sa power cable. So, itong power cable na to is hindi siya nag-transfer ng data. So, in real life, dapat LAN cable yan. I mean, LAN cable yung nagta-transfer ng data.
and girls, give you the internet!
Huh? The internet is not nearly as impressive as how Sonic described it.
I gotta admit, I'm underwhelmed. Where do you think they keep their eBay?
Beats me. Hello? Anybody here?
Anyone, hello? We're looking for eBay.
Ooh, did you hear that, kid? Sweet echo. Check this out.
Okay.
So, as you can see, after kay power cable, si Penelope at si Ralph ay napunta kay modem. Na kung saan si modem ay ang tulay sa pagitan ng internet service provider at local network natin sa bahay or sa opisina.
The network?
So dito makikita natin na gumagamit si Mr. Litwack ng network interface card kung saan ito yung nakasaksak sa kanyang device para makapag-communicate sa isang modem. Dito makikita natin nagbato ng signal si network interface card papunta kay modem.
Cool. Moonlighting. Ah, that's a gremlin. Stay away, it's a gremlin.
It looks like a tiny Mr. Litwack. Cool. Come on, Ralph, let's follow him.
Hey, wait for me. Kid, come back. Wait. Hey, don't leave me out there. Hello, lady.
So, itong makikita natin, ito yung dinaanan nila is, ang tawag dyan ay ang LAN cable. So, papunta sila kay optic cable. Ayan si optic cable. And on the destination nila sa optic terminal.
Isn't this great?
No, it's not.
So, without a router o yung pinasukan ni Mr. Litwack, Ralph at Penelope, isa lang na device ang pwedeng direktang i-connect sa modem sa isang pagkakataon. Ang router naman ay isang electronic device na nagsisilbing tulay or intermediary sa pagitan ng dalawang network. Sa example ng movie, yung router na nag-transfers ng data packets para nung kumonek si Mr. Litwack sa router at nagkakaroon siya ng avatar mula sa modem papunta sa tamang destinasyon sa local network. Ibig sabihin, pwede mag-route na traffic ang router mula sa isang computer papunta sa ibang computer sa local network o mula sa internet papunta sa maraming devices sa iyong local network. Bukod dyan, nagbibigay din ng extra feature ang router gaya ng Wi-Fi coverage para sa wireless connection, firewall protection at port forwarding or kapaki-pakinabang sa gaming or VoIP application. So next naman tayo ang switch. Ngayon naman, ang switch ay isang network devices na nagko-connect ng maraming devices sa isang local network or tulad ng computers, printers at servers para makapagpalitan sila ng data ng mabilis at efficient. Sa simple explanation, isipin mo ang switch ay parang traffic controller sa loob ng building. Tinitiyak nito na ang data na nanggagaling sa isang device ay mapupunta sa tamang destination at hindi lahat sa device sa network. Example, kung gusto ni computer A magpadala ng file kay computer B, titignan muna ni switch kung kaninong MAC address papadala ang file kay B. Hindi sa lahat ng nakakonect sa computers ay makakatanggap nito, kundi kung saang MAC address lang ito ipapadala. So, bawat devices na nakakabit sa switch ay may kanya-kanyang port. Natutunan natin na ang switch kung alin device nasa aling port gamit ang kanilang MAC address. Kapag dumating ang data, chine-check ng switch kung saan ito dapat ipadala at doon lang ito forward. So, that's all, Miss April, for my part. And thank you that I hope na mas naging malinaw kung paano gumagana ang mga network hardware tulad ng network interface card, router at switch sa ating everyday connection.
Thank you for that wonderful explanation, demonstration, and analogy. Now, it makes sense kung bakit may ganong scene sa Wreck-It Ralph. Kasi before parang, ay wala, cartons lang yan, ganon. Pero, now naintindihan ko na, nga may connection. So, thank you so much, especially may Anne and Jeline for helping Mr. Austin. So, next naman tayo, no? Next, we have Jelaine. So, bukod sa mga nabanggit ni Austin, meron ka pa bang alam na other components? Kasi like ako to be honest, before ang alam ko lang na network component is LAN, which is yung cable. 'Di ba? So, meron pa ba kaming hindi alam na mga components? Kasi merong iba kasi na alam yung itsura, yung ganitong component, pero hindi namin alam kung anong tawag.
Hi Miss April, hi din sa'yo Austin and Mayan. Ang galing ng explanation mo kanina. So, in fairness, sobrang clear kung paano gumagana ang NIC, router at switch. Pero alam nyo ba, may iba pa tayong network components na madalas natin nakikita pero hindi natin agad alam kung ano ang tawag at para saan nga ba sila. So this time, ako naman ang mag-explain ng tatlong importanteng network devices na madalas nating nakikita sa offices, school at kahit sa bahay. Ito ang tinatawag na the hub, modem, and the access point. But let's start with the hub. Ang hub ay isa sa mga pinaka-basic network devices. Para siya yung first generation ng connections, sharing tools. Ang trabaho ni hub ay pagdugtungin ang mga devices sa loob ng isang local area network or mas tinatawag na LAN, gaya ng computers, printers, at servers. Pero unlike sa switch na matalino, ang hub ay medyo simple-minded. Paano nga ba ito gumagana? Kapag may isang computer na nagpadala ng data, ipapasa ng hub yung data na yon sa lahat ng nakakabit na devices, kahit isa lang talaga ang intended receiver. So, kung may 10 computer sa network, lahat sila makakatanggap ng data. Pero, isa lang totoong tatanggap. Kaya minsan nagkakaroon tayo ng data collision or network congestion. Kasi sabay-sabay ang signals. Pero in technical terms, nag-ooperate si hub sa physical layer or tinatawag na layer 1 ng OSI model. Wala rin siyang kakayahan mag-filter o mag-identify kung saan dapat napunta ang data. Kaya kaya siya tinatawag na dumb device. So in short, ang hub ay parang megaphone kapag nagsasalita ka. Maririnig ng lahat kahit hindi naman lahat interesado. Ginagamit ito noon sa maliliit na networks pero ngayon mas pinalitan ito ng switch dahil mas efficient yun. So next naman is modem. May dala pala akong modem dito, papakita ko na lang din sa inyo. Yan. Now, this one is modem. Sobrang familiar sa atin nito. Ang modem ay parang official messenger natin sa internet world. Ang pangalan niyang modem ay actually short for modulator and demulator. At tulad ng pangalan niya, dalawang trabaho ang ginagawa niya. First is yung modulate. Kinukuha niya ang digital signals mula sa computer at ginagawa niyang analog signals para makadaan sa telephone lines or cable system. Yung second naman is demodulate. Pagkatapos nito is kapag may dumating na signal mula sa ISP or mas sinatawag na internet service provider, babalik niya iyon sa digital form para mabasa ulit ng computer. So, si modem ang tulay sa pagitan ng Internet Service Provider or ISP at ng local network natin sa bahay or sa office. Without a modem, hindi ka makakakonect sa internet kahit may router ka or switch ka pa. Pero meron akong mga fun fact dito. May iba't ibang types ng modems. Una is yung DSL modem. Ito yung ginagamit sa telephone line. Second naman is yung cable modem. Gamit ang coaxial cable. Pangatlo ay ang fiber modem or ONT para sa fiber internet. Yung pang-apat naman is cellular modem. Ginagamit sa pocket wifi or mobile data. Ito yung dala ko, yung cellular modem. So, the next time makakita ka ng maliit na box na may blinking lights na nakakabit sa internet line. So, ayun na yun. Si modem yun, quietly doing its job para makapag-TikTok, YouTube, or Google ka. Yun. And last naman is yung access point. Now, ito yung madalas nating tinatawag na Wi-Fi access point or AP. Ang access point ay isang device na nagbibigay ng wireless connection sa mga devices tulad ng laptops, tablets, at smartphones. Nakakabit ito sa router or switch gamit ang Ethernet cable at siya ang nagbo-broadcast ng Wi-Fi signal sa paligid. So, may analogy pala dito. Isipin mo yung access point na parang Wi-Fi ferry. Nagpapakalat siya ng wireless signal para makakonekta tayo sa kahit saan na building. But, in technical terms, nag-ooperate ito sa data link layer 2. Gumagamit din siya ng radio frequency 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz para makapagpadala or tumanggap ng data. So, kadalasan, may security protocols tayo tulad ng YPA2 or YPA3 para safe ang Wi-Fi connections natin. Example natin dito sa mga universities or malls, napapansin nyo siguro may Wi-Fi bawat corner. Like Campus Wi-Fi 1, Campus Wi-Fi 2, Campus Wi-Fi 3. Ayan, bawat isa dyan ay access point na nagbibigay ng signal sa iba't ibang area. So, ayan Miss April, kahit simple lang tignan ang mga devices na ito, sobrang laki ng contribution nila sa everyday internet experience natin. Without them, wala tayong stable na Wi-Fi, internet, connection, or local sharing sa network. That's all for my part. Thank you and I hope na mas maging malinaw kung para saan ang network components na ito. And next time na makita niyo sila, maaalala niyo agad kung sino si hub, modem, at access point.
So, wow, I was mesmerized talaga sa sinabi mo kasi there are other components nga talaga na some of us don't know pero nakikita siya and alam yung itsura. So, thank you for that wonderful information and demonstration, Jeline. Ngayon, alam ko na kung ano ang tawag sa kanila and kung para saan sila. Well, not most, pero ang importante is yung mga nabanggit mo. So, thank you for that. So, last we have Mayan. So, I can see na meron kang dalang cables and nakapulupot sa leeg mo ito ngayon. So, ano ba yan? Python ba yan? Charot. So, I can clearly tell na essential siyang component sa episode natin ngayon kasi hindi mo naman yan dadalhin kung di siya important, diba? So, pwede mo bang i-share sa amin kung para saan yung yellow thing na nakapulupot sa'yo and ano ang tawag dyan?
Okay, yes, tama ka April. So, hello everyone. Ang tawag dito is network cable. So, ang network cable na ito is Ethernet cable. So, may isa pa ito yung fiber optic cable kaso wala, hindi ko nadala. So, basically, sila ang lifeline ng ating network. Sila ang nagdadala ng data or information from one device to another. Para silang mga kalsada kung saan dumadaan ang traffic na dala papunta sa ibang computers, printers, or routers. So, unahin natin si Ethernet cable. Ito yung madalas na nakikita natin sa school or office. Ganitong klaseng cable ang ginagamit para i-connect ang computer sa router or switch. Okay, gaya nito. Lang. So na ang router. Ito. Ay, baliktad. So, connect natin. Yan, there. So, ay. Yan, ganyan. Ay. Yan, okay? Okay. So, itong Ethernet cable is, yung dulo niya is ay tinatawag na RJ45. RJ45 connector. So, ito yung clear na plug na kinakabit natin sa LAN port. Ayun nga, yung ginawa ko kanina. Halimbawa, kapag gusto mong mag-share ng file sa computer ng classmate mo o gumamit ng shared printer. So, kailangan na-connect kayo sa same network gamit ang Ethernet cable. So, next naman ay ang fiber optic cable. So, explain ko na lang kasi wala ako. Ito naman ang ginagamit sa high-speed internet connection. Ang kaibahan niya sa Ethernet cable ay hindi siya gumagamit ng kuryente para magpadala ng data. So, light signals ang ginagamit niya. Kaya sobrang bilis at linaw ng transmission. At pwedeng umabot sa napakahabang distance, perfect for big companies at internet providers. So, bukod sa Ethernet at fiber cable, may iba pa rin cables gaya ng coaxial cable at USB connectors para sa mga modems o adapters. Pero sa networking, ang Ethernet at fiber optic talaga ang pinaka-common at pinakamahalaga.
Wow, so kahit sabihin natin na wireless na tayo sa panahon ngayon, important pa rin talaga ang cables, no? Kasi based on my observation sa mga companies, parang essential pa rin talaga paggamit ng LAN, no? Mian?
Exactly. So, kahit may wifi tayo, karamihan sa mga backbone ng internet ay ang wired pa rin, gamit ang mga fiber optic cables. Ibig sabihin, kahit wireless tayo sa device level, may mga cables pa rin na nagko-connect sa mga servers at routers para maging stable at mabilis ang connection. So, kapag na-connect ang mga device gamit ang cables at connectors, nagkakaroon tayo ng local area network o LAN, kung saan pwedeng mag-share ng data o resources efficiently.
So, salamat sa explanation mong yan, Mian. Aminin natin sa lahat ng viewers natin, bukod sa cables na pinakita ni Mian at bukod sa nakapulupot ito sa kanyang leeg, ang nakikita talaga natin sa bahay bukod sa routers ay ang RJ45 and other cables. Actually, madaming kulay yan, di ba? Merong blue, gray, may... Ano isa?
Yellow.
Yellow. Okay. So, alright. So, thank you everyone for that amazing demonstration explanation. So, I also want to thank all of you kasi you help us understand the purpose of the network components. And it's really a great help especially for our fellow student audiences. And bago yon, meron pa ba kayong gustong i-share, idagdag sa amin na regarding this topic na hindi namin alam? So, meron pa ba?
So, meron pa, di ba? Actually, ito yung tinatawag natin na servers and clients.
Servers and clients, familiar siya. Can you show us how it works?
So, dito sa simulation namin, meron tayong server, isang router, isang switch, at 3 client PC na magkakakonekta sa isang network. So, let's start with the overview of our design.
Ang network namin ay may 2 subnet. Una, yung server side na may IP range na 158.0.0 up to 24. Pangalawa, yung client side na may 192.168.0.0 up to 24.3. Yung router na magkakakonect sa dalawang network na yan para makapag-communicate ang mga clients at mga servers.
So, ayun. Unahin natin si server. Ito, si server. Yan. Ang IP address niya is 192.158.0.3 at ang gateway ay 192.158.0.1. Siya ang nagbibigay ng services tulad ng web server, file server, o DNS server. Depende sa setup. So, direkta itong nakakonekta sa router.
So next naman is yung router. Siya ang nagiging bridge. Ito makikita natin yung router dito. Siya ang nagiging bridge o tulay sa pagitan ng server at ng mga clients at may dalawang interface ito. Yung isa is 192.158.0.1 which is papunta sa server. Yung isa naman is 192.168.0.2 which is yung papunta naman sa switch at sa mga PC. Ang trabaho ng router ay mag-route ng mga packets para makapagpadala ng data mula sa clients papunta sa server kahit magkakaibang network sila.
So, ayun naman dito, ito. Makikita nyo dyan yung switch na nagko-connect sa lahat ng PCs sa loob ng local area network. Parang hub siya kung saan dumadaan lahat ng data bago pumunta sa router. Ito rin yung dahilan kung bakit nakakausap ng mga PCs ang isa't isa sa loob ng LAN.
So, ngayon, punta naman tayo sa mga clients. So, si PC1. Si PC1 ay may IP na 192.168.0.1 at gateway na 192.168.0.2. Kaya dumadaan siya sa router papunta sa server. So, si PC2 naman, si PC2 ay may IP na 10.10.0.1 at si So, si PC0 naman is may IP na 10.10.0.1 at si PC2 naman ay 172.168.1.1. Ginamit na namin ang iba't ibang IP para maipakita ang iba't ibang subnet test.
So, ganito sila nagko-communicate. For example, ganito. Kapag ang isang PC ay nagsisend ng request papunta sa server, dumadaan muna ito sa router. Tapos ang router naman ay magpapadala ng data papunta sa server at network. For example, ganito. Kailangan namin i-ping si 192.168.0.1. So, as you can see, nagkakaroon tayo ng reply from 192.168.0.1 kasi nakakonect sila sa isang network. Pagkatanggap ng response ng server, ibabalik naman ito ng router sa tamang client. Dito natin makikita kung paano nagkakaroon ng data sharing at communication sa magkaibang network.
So, sa madaling salita, ang server ay ang nagbibigay ng services, ang router ang magko-connect sa mga networks, ang switch ang nagli-link ng mga clients, at ang mga PCs naman ay mga client na humihingi ng data o service mula sa server.
So, ayun. Ganito rin yung concept na ginagamit sa real life. Halimbawa, kapag nag-a-access tayo ng website o nagda-download ng file sa internet, gumagana rin ito sa client-server model na kagaya ng setup namin.
And ayan po ang aming client-server network explanation using Cisco Packet Tracer. Maraming salamat.
So, thank you for that wonderful demonstration, everyone. Austin, Jelaine, Mayan. We understand now kung paano nag-work ang server client. I hope sa mga viewers na intindihan natin ang kahalagahan and kung paano gumagana ang network components na ito. So, that's for our network component topic. Now, punta naman tayo kay Jana, which is my co-host for today, na mag-interview ng student regarding network topology. See you guys!
Good day everyone, here I am again, and for this part naman, we'll explore network topologies. But instead of the usual presentation, let's make it more engaging naman, diba? Para naman iba, and hindi boring. So now, mag-interview tayo ng ilang student here at Mandaluyong para marinig din natin ang own knowledge or perspective nila about network topologies. Tara, hanap muna tayo na may biktima or hindi, may interview. First po, what's your name, year, and program?
I'm Riza and a third-year student. I'm taking BSIT.
Nice. So, nice to meet you, Riza. So, simple lang naman po yung question. In your own word, what is network topology and what it is for purpose?
So for me, ang network topology ay yung layout or arrangement of connections ng mga computers natin sa isang network. So, sa di nakakaalam if ano ang network, so ang network is a group of computers that are connected to share information po. So, and dito sa network topology, pinapakita niya kung paano sila nakakonect sa isa't isa. Gaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, layout siya and marami siyang types actually, kagaya na lang ng star or bus and marami pang iba. And pagdating naman sa purpose nito, syempre mas madali nang maintindihan at ma-manage yung network, and big help din siya if ever magkaroon ng problem sa connection kasi makikita mo agad kung saang part galing yung issue. So, that's all po. Thank you.
Thank you po, no? Wow, ang smart naman ni Ma'am Riza, oh. Very concise and actually, it's a great explanation. And in all fairness, she knows common knowledge about network topology. And dahil dyan, meron kaming ibibigay sa iyong premyo. Gisela! Thank you po sa pagsagot. And ngayon, maghahanap naman tayo ng pangalawa nating may interview. So, hanap tayo. Hi po, pwede po kayo ma-interview? Can you introduce yourself po?
Hi, so I'm Angeli. I'm a BSIT student from RT.
So, okay, Angeli, big question for you. Big kasi medyo mahaba to. Can you tell us different types of network topologies?
Ayan, so may 5 different types ng network topology. So first is yung bus. So yung lahat ng devices na connected here are linked together by a single cable, which is tinatawag natin na bus. And yung cable is known as a backbone cable. So lahat ng network devices dito can simultaneously receive the same signal dahil nga sa shared communication medium that is provided by this connection. And next naman is yung star. So yung star topology is a network setup kung saan yung bawat devices is connected to a central node. So yung central node na to is tinatawag na hub. So itong hub yung nagmamanage ng data flow sa bawat devices. If yung isang devices dito is gustong mag-send ng data to another device, kailangan niya munang i-send yung information sa hub. And then, yung hub na yung magta-transmit ng data sa required na devices. So, third is yung ring. So, from the word itself, so, nagpo-form dito yung ng ring, yung mga neighboring devices, kung saan bawat network devices is connected to two others, like points para mag-form ng circle. So, may ilang number ng repeaters ang ginagamit dito with a large number of nodes. Because for example, if someone wants to send some data to a large number of nodes, for example, For example, kailangan niya mag-send ng data sa 100 nodes. Kailangan muna yung data mag-pass through sa 99 nodes bago niya ma-reach yung 100 node. Ginagawa ito para ma-prevent yung data loss, kaya may repeaters na ginagamit dito sa network. So, pang-fourth is yung mesh. So, yung mesh topology is yung bawat devices is interconnected to each other. So, that's why may multiple route yung data to travel. Yung nodes dito are connected to each other completely via a dedicated link where information travels from nodes to nodes. So, yung bawat computer dito not only sends its signals but also transfers data from other computers. And lastly is yung hybrid. So, dito naman is may kita dito yung combination ng two or more different network topologies. So, for example, it can be a combination of bus and ring and mesh, or yung selection ng different types of network topologies na pinagko-combine together. And nakadepende dito yung number of computers, yung location nila, and yung required performance kung paano ipagko-combine yung mga network topologies. So, ayun lang.
Nice. Very good naman si Ma'am Angeli. Complete lineup from bus to hybrid. Walang nakalimutan. So, dahil dyan, meron din siyang prize. Kandila! Happy birthday! Now, maghahanap naman tayo ng last na pwede nating ma-interview. So, tara. May nakita na. Hi po. Pwede po ba kayo ma-interview? Pwede po. So, first, let me ask your question muna po yung program nyo and anong year na kayo?
Hello, I'm Jana Malikalik and currently a third year BSI student.
So, hello Janelle. Here's my question. What do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of those topologies?
So, meron tayong different network topologies na may kanya-kanyang advantages and disadvantages. Una, ang bus topology. Ang advantage nito ay simple at super affordable siya i-set up kasi minimal cable lang ang needed. Kaya budget-friendly siya lalo na sa small networks. However, its advantages, once may problem sa main cable, apektado buong network. And limited lang yung number of network pwedeng nakakonekta pag sobrang dami. Nagiging slow yung data pathways, sharing lang sila sa isang line. Sunod naman ay ang star topology. Ang advantage naman nito ay madali itong i-install at i-manage. Simple ang troubleshooting, and another nice thing about this topology is kung may masira na isang device or cable, hindi affected yung iba. But ang drawback ay kapag nag-fail ang central hub or switch, buong network ang maapektuhan. Kaya mas mataas din or medyo high maintenance yung hub than bus topology dahil sa central device requirement. Then we have ring topology. Its advantages is that it reduces data collisions and ensures data equal access for each device. However, the downside is kapag may isang device o cable na nagka-problema, pwedeng ma-disrupt yung buong ring, and troubleshooting becomes more complicated. Next is the mesh topology. It's very reliable because it is very highly fault tolerant. Kahit may masira na connection, data can still be rerouted. However, implementing it is very expensive dahil sobrang dami connections ang needed, and its installation and management are more complex. Lastly ay ang hybrid topology na very flexible and scalable siya, meaning madali mag-add ng devices at mag-adjust based on needs. Pero yun nga, dahil combination ito ng dalawa o pang topologies, mas expensive at complicated ito i-design at i-maintain kaysa sa simpler networks. So overall, the right and best topology to use depends on the right requirements ng network, budget, scalability, at level of reliability na kailangan.
Very nice naman po. Those points naman talaga are very helpful. And it's important to know both the pros and cons para alam natin kung anong topology nga ba yung best na pwede natin gamitin. May last question na lang po pala kami, ma'am. Can you give a real-life example naman where these topologies are used?
So, yung example dito is, for example, sa mga companies. For example, yung BDO or yung mga bank companies, gumagamit sila ng hybrid topology para sa kanilang nationwide network system. So, sa bawat branch dito, nakaset up yung star topology. So, lahat ng computers nila, lahat ng tellers, managers, pati yung mga ibang, computers is konektado sa isang central switch sa branch. So, pagkatapos, lahat ng branches na yan, sa buong Philippines is connected naman sa data center or yung head office na gumagamit ng bus or ring topology. So, ibig sabihin, pinagsasama nila yung star for local branches connection and yung bus or ring ginagamit naman nila for inter-branch communication. So, ginagawa ito para mas mapabilis yung transaction, updates, and para mas maging secure yung data at tuloy-tuloy yung connection kahit nasabay-sabay yung operation nito sa ibang lugar kasi nga may iba-ibang branches. So, ayun lang.
Thank you so much po sa very good answer nyo. Kompleto and very
So, we have ring topology. Best example nito is sa mga schools, no? Specifically sa teacher's office. Let's say yung mga computers na connect in one after another in a circle. Ibig sabihin, kung may file or data na kailangan i-send sa ibang computer, dumadaan siya sa bawat computer sa circle hanggang makarating sa destination. Ang kagandahan dito, mas organized yung data flow kasi alam mo kung saan dadaan yung information. Pero kung may masirang computer sa circle, pwedeng maapektuhan yung buong network. Kaya kailangan din na ma-maintain ng maayos. Kaya yun lang po. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Raisa, sa napakagaling mong sumagot.
So hello ulit. If we focus on what cafes usually use, one topology is clearly the best fit, the star topology. In star topology, lahat ng devices tulad ng computers, Wi-Fi, printers, and payment system ay connected individually sa isang central hub, usually a router or switch. Meaning, lahat ng data dumadaan muna sa central unit before going to another device. Just like what I mentioned earlier about the advantages of star topology, it's very easy to install and to manage. If one device disconnects or fails, the other stays operational. So if ever magka-issue yung receipt printer, tuloy pa rin ang cashier and Wi-Fi. In summary, cafes choose star topology because it's organized, easy to troubleshoot, and perfect for day-to-day operations. So, yun lang po.
Thank you so much po sa napaka-kompleto at napakagaling ni Ma'am sumagot ng mga tanong ko. So, dahil dyan, meron siyang prize na Betadine. Hindi ko alam kung saan mo siya gagamitin, pero useful naman yan. Thank you! So, as you can see sa lahat ng na-interview natin, very good naman silang lahat. Lahat may connection yung sagot nila, literally and figuratively. Now, we've learned what network topologies are and how they play a big role in connection, not just in our devices, but even though through technology. Thank you so much, Raisa, Anjali, and Janelle, for sharing your thoughts and giving time for us to answer the questions. And that's it for fun and interactive segment about network topology. See you again!
So that is all for our episodes for today. But wait, before we end our episode for today, we want to provide a conclusion. So we will provide a summarization of the key learnings. So for the network components, of course, we have the NIC. Siya ang nag-enable sa ating mga devices para makapag-send and maka-receive ng data sa ibang network-connected devices tulad ng routers or switches. So in short, tumutulong ito sa mga devices natin para makatanggap at makapag-send ng data signals to other devices. Second, we have the hub. Ang tungkulin nito ay ang pag-a-assist na pagdugtong-dugtongin ang mga devices sa loob ng isang LAN or what we call the local area network, gaya ng computers, printers, and servers. So, for the third one, we have the cable. So, sila ang lifeline ng ating network. So, sila ang nagdadala ng data or information from one devices to others. So, yun yung cables na pinakita kanina ni Miss Mayan. And for the fourth one, we have the server. So, parang ang summarization nito. So, kapag ang computer ay nag-send ng request to the server, it will go through sa router. Tapos, the router will pass the data going to the server network. And kapag na-receive nito, magre-response ang server. Then, ibabalik naman ito ng router sa right client. So, dito natin makikita kung paano nagkakaroon ng data sharing and communication sa magkaibang network. So, yun ang purpose ng server and clients. So, for the network topology, of course, for the definition discussed by Ms. Raisa, network topology is the physical and logical arrangement of nodes and connections in a network, which dictates how data flows between devices. So next, we have 5 types of network topologies. We have the bus, the star, the ring, the mesh, and of course, last is the hybrid. So for the bus, it all means that all devices that are connected are linked together by a single cable. So for the star, it is a network setup where each device is connected to a central node na tinatawag na hub. Third, ring, nagpo-form dito ng ring that connects neighboring devices. Fourth, we have the mesh topology. So it only means that each device here is interconnected with every device. That's why there are multiple routes for data to travel. So, kumbaga madami siyang madadaanan. So, for the last topology, we have the hybrid. It's the combination of 2 or more different network topologies.
Alright, so now, let's talk about naman how understanding components, topology, and security helps IT professionals build efficient and safe networks. First, the components. There are building blocks of a networks like routers, switches, cables, and servers like na nasabi ni April kanina. Kapag alam ng IT professionals kung paano gumagana ang bawat isa, mas madali nila mapapatakbo yung network smoothly without lag or connection problems. Next, the topology. This shows how all the devices are connected, whether it's bus, star, ring, mesh, or even hybrid. Knowing the right topology helps them design a network that fits the needs of a school, company, or even a cafe. Na sinabi ng mga in-interview natin kanina na examples, the right decision is equals to faster and more reliable connection. And of course, the most important part is yung security. IT professionals must understand how to protect the network from hackers, viruses, or even the data branches. Through firewalls, encryption, and strong passwords, they make sure that the data stays safe and private. So in short, by understanding 3 components, the 3 components which are the topology and the security, the IT professionals can build networks that are not only efficient but also safe, stable, and secure. Kasi diba, what's the use of fast connection kung hindi naman sila protected?
So, grabe. Sa totoo lang, nakaka-mindblow yung episode natin for today. Grabe. So, meron pala talagang mga components and topologies na hindi natin alam. Kaya, thank you for all the students that we interviewed for today. I hope you learned something for our discussion today. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for our YouTube channel to watch more related content. So thanks for watching and see you again in our next episode of the Tech Gents. Bye guys!